Hi friends, this is my first video I'm recording. I've been thinking about getting into process videos for my scrapbooking, but I thought I would kind of jump into the world of videoing by doing a layout share first. So these are layouts that I have created in the months of December and I guess the last few days of January. And most of them I created last week actually. My fiance challenged me over my winter break to complete 15 layouts. And amazingly, by Sunday, before I returned to work on Monday this past week, I did it. I made 15 layouts. And then I've made a few more this week, and then I've included some in this share that I made earlier in December. So some of them I've shared on my Instagram, some of them I haven't, but let's go ahead and get started. So this is a recent layout that I made for Pear Tree cut files. And this features the January Pearscription cut file, this big 2022. And I shared this, I think on this week on Monday on the Pear Tree Facebook group. So there's that one. This next one I have not shared, but I have this really fun Pear Tree cut file wreath that was part of the December Pearscriptions. And once I cut it, I left it on my cutting mat and then I put this Nuvo Glimmer Glacier paste over it. You can see it has some really great shine and shimmer there. And then I let it dry and then I peeled it off the mat. And then I went ahead and I embellished with lots of little details from the December 2020 Hip Kit Club kits, which is actually what I used on the last layout too, I forgot to say. So, that's that one. This next one is one that I made for fun. I've been obsessed with shaker pockets lately. You're going to see a lot of shaker pockets throughout this video. So I made 3 shaker pockets here, and then I put some color cast design snowflakes on top of them. And this was a photo from last year when we visited Hershey Park. So I titled it The Sweetest Place and then put all kinds of sweet candies and muffins and cakes and hot chocolate all around. I also have some Scrap and Happy flair here. And I tried the tangled thread underneath, which I've been doing quite a bit with my Scrap and Happy flair. I liked that a lot. And then on the back, if you can see, there is a snowflake stencil. I did some paste through, some shimmery Nuvo paste that had a lot of sparkle in it, which looks kind of cool. So that was the first of my Hershey Park layouts that I made from my trip last year when we went to Hershey Park. This is the second one, and this has a title cut file, also from Pear Tree. That's actually part of the Pearscription cut files for January, which is still available if you're interested. Hip Kit Club kit from December 2020 again, and I did a slanted title there. I cut these little pieces from pattern paper and did some stitching around them, and then tried to do kind of like a flow going across the page and some groupings. This is another page with some photos from Hershey. I was able to crop them down to 2x2, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different photos. A few of my favorite things from Chocolate World. Use lots of bits and pieces. I love these bows. Every time they come in a Hip Kit Club, I just love them and I need to use them on all my layouts. And then I put, some favorite things, specifically chocolate, Christmas, and kisses, like the Hershey kiss there. This is another layout from Hershey. We stayed at the Hershey Lodge last year. These were some pictures in front of this gorgeous fireplace. For this one, I created the background with a stencil. So it was a layering stencil that came in a Hip Kit Club last year. And I used some Distress inks to get all that color on the background. And then this is a collection from Scrap and Happy Studio that I used all these little pieces and the flair. It was called, I believe, Christmas in the City, I want to say. This is another layout from Hershey Lodge, and this also uses the Scrap and Happy Studio Christmas in the City collection. I made 2 little clusters. I cut these trees out using a die cut that was from scrapbook.com. Trying out the tangled thread again. This is a title piece from Color Cast Designs. And then here I did a little stitching, oops, underneath some of, or on top of some of my journaling pieces, which I think looks kind of cool. I like that. This one's a more recent layout that I made following a Paper Issues sketch challenge. This year, or this month, they have a new sketch every day. And so far, today's January 5th, and I've got 4 of them done. So one more to go, and then I'll be all caught up. But I loved this tree kind of shape, and on the original sketch it had stars, but I swapped it out for some hearts. And these hearts were cut with an Elle's Studio die. And then I did some little clusters. This one is shared on my Instagram. And then this is another sketch from Paper Issues. And I went fringe crazy on the side here with my fringe scissors. And then I stitched that heart. I actually found this heart die cut out of white cardstock just in my extra cardstock, which was kind of cool. I just poked some holes and did some stitching. And then I created some clusters. I used this. I bought these really fun flair from Scrap and Happy Studio that were all about Labrador retrievers to scrapbook my parents' dog, Maggie. She is the funniest Labrador retriever. Can't believe she posed for this photo for me. And I was having a ball with my fringe scissors. I actually created this one today. This is another Paper Issues sketch. And for this one, I did some fringe at the top and then at the bottom. And then I die cut all these snowflakes with a Tim Holtz die and then kind of layered them all over. This is a collection from Simple Stories called Feelin' Frosty. It was perfect for these snow day photos last year. And then this is another one I just created today with a Paper Issues sketch. This is the 4th of the 5 sketches they have out. I've still got that 5th one left to do. And I bought this sequin mix from a shop on Etsy, and it was made to match the Feelin' Frosty collection, which was perfect. And I dug through my stash of wood veneer, and these are wood veneer frames from Freckled Fawn. Very old, probably 8-9 years old, so I was really happy to get those used up. And I created some shaker pockets there. And then this was a grid style layout, and I was able to get 5 photos on there. And they're not too small. I was able to keep the size of them, get all the details in. And I used some more of those snowflakes I had left from the last layout. Again, Simple Stories Feelin' Frosty collection. And this is one I created, I think actually back in November. This was for a Pear Tree Cut Files, and maybe it was December, a Pear Tree Cut Files design team project that I made with this adorable title, Snow Much Fun. And it's the same day as the photos that were in the last 2 layouts with that same collection, Feelin' Frosty. Such cute little embellishments in this one. And then this is kind of a whole different theme. I shared this one recently of, I've got 3 layouts here of photos from when I got engaged this summer on a Ferris wheel. So Marie from Pear Tree Cut Files created this cut file just for me for December. I requested a Ferris wheel so I could scrapbook this photo, and it was absolutely perfect. I love how it came out. So I backed the top of the cars in vellum and then put some pattern paper on the bottom. And then on the center, I created a big shaker wheel. Every other spoke is a shaker pocket. And this mix is from Spiegel Mom Scraps. And I absolutely am in love with these thickers. I could use about 10 packs of them. And this next layout goes with this same event. I made this one for the January Design Team Cut File Challenge, which is this cut file here, the start of something amazing, and you can grab it for free on the Pear Tree website right now. And check out the Facebook page because you'll see how lots of different designers interpreted this cut file. I did a little tone on tone, color on color embellishing. And I should say all supplies from this layout, the last one, and then the next one you're going to see came from the May 2020 Hip Kit Clubs. May 2021 Hip Kit Clubs. And this is my last one I have still to share on my Instagram channel. I have this title from Pear Tree Cut Files, Love You. 2 last photos from that day, the Ferris wheel we were on, and then my engagement ring there. I used the title here from Color Cast Designs. Some really pretty butterflies from the Wonders collection by Paige Evans that I cut out. And then on this one, I wanted to include the story of the day. So I have a pull-out here that can pull in and out to read the whole story. And I will post up close photos of this layout if you're interested in seeing that closer. All right, I have a whole nother pile to share here. This is one I shared back in December on the Pear Tree Cut Files Facebook group. And this was a cut file that was part of the Scrapbookers Advent calendar. There was 1 new cut file a day. This was the scrapbook one. There was also an album cut file bunch that you could purchase, which I also did use for my December daily. Still working on finishing that up, and then I'll share it. But I backed all these little pieces to make this adorable gingerbread house. This was with the latest Bella Boulevard collection for Christmas. I can't think of the name right now. And then I made this one to go with it. I had some extra photos of the gingerbread houses that we made. And the candy canes and the title is all from Pear Tree. I believe the title was part of the December release, and the candy canes were part of the Scrapbookers Advent calendar. They were with a couple other pieces of candy cut files. Again, with the Bella Boulevard collection. This is a layout I shared using a Hip Kit Club, that same stencil that I used to create the background a couple layouts ago. I used here just in different colors on a diagonal. The next bunch of pages are all my pages from Christmas Eve from last year. I tried to use the same collection just so it kind of had continuity and it flowed. So all of these supplies are from the November 2020 Hip Kit Club kits. We have a favorite Christmas song called Mr. Christmas by Brett Eldridge, and so my fiance has been saying all season, just call him Mr. Christmas, so it was the perfect title for this page. This is a Pear Tree cut file. It's a rainbow, but it's got the holly and berry on it, so it's more of a Christmas rainbow, which I thought was really fun and went with the theme of this photo. This is another one. This is a cut file from Pear Tree Cut Files. And then I just paper pieced this heart out of triangles. It says, this is the best bit of Christmas together. And I just love all these little icons, and the little mouse, the little penguin, the little Santa, little bird. So I created little clusters and tucked them in. This is another layout I shared on the Pear Tree Cut Files Facebook group in December. And the cut file is this frame, which I love frames. You can get so many photos in them, and then you can embellish in the other pockets. I created a bunch of shaker pockets here. This was the first layout I tried the tangled thread on, and I struggled a little bit with getting it to stay. So hopefully once it's in the page projector, I won't move, but I feel like I have improved since then. I also shared this page in December on the Pear Tree Cut Files Facebook group. This was part of the December Scrapbookers Advent cut file package, this present. And my mom had given me a necklace early in December. It was a little present, and on the back it had this quote, "Every day is a gift." That's why it's called the present. So I really wanted to use that on a layout, and this seemed perfect of my niece getting her Christmas presents. I've got some little pear tree pieces in here too, these felt hearts, which are just beautiful. Now this one's not actually Christmas Eve, but it's that same kit I have been using, and that kit came with this snow globe stamp, and I just was dying to use it and create a little scene. So I stamped the snow globes, and then all these little pieces are stamps that come in that stamp set to embellish and add into your snow globe. Here's another Christmas Eve layout with that same November 2020 Hip Kit Club kit. And this one I made for a challenge on the Hip Kit Club Facebook group. It was a sketch challenge, which I always love sketches. And I used that same stencil that I've used a couple times in layouts that you've seen, just to make a little background. And then here I cut two trees out of vellum, put some sequins in them, and stitched around it to make a different kind of shaker pocket. This is the layout I made back in November for Pear Tree Cut Files for a crop that we were having in the Facebook group. And I created a recipe challenge to use, I think it was a shaker, wood veneer, a stencil, stamping, and there was one other thing I can't recall. But this is a cut file that came out back in November from Pear Tree. Now these last four are actually layouts that I purchased from Erica Rose Creates. She had a crop for Christmas back in November, and she offered these leftover kits that she had with layouts that were designed by Brianna Lepper. And I did not purchase this collection by Pink Fresh Studio, and the kit had 4 layouts with it, and I love Brianna's style, so I hopped right on that and contacted Erica to get a copy for a set for me. She mailed it to me super quick, and I put these layouts together. They came with awesome directions, and they actually kind of got me really into the stenciling on the background. I hadn't done a ton of that before that. I made these in early December, kind of before all those other layouts. So this was one. This was another layout from that kit with this gorgeous paper that we cut out, tucked a photo in, and then did a bunch of embellishing around. This is the layout that kicked off my shaker pocket obsession that I made from this glass by Brianna. So this has got 5 shaker pockets, and I loved this idea of using the chipboard frames that come in collections. And I've got one more layout also from that kit from Brianna. And just got this fun paper with a torn edge, some stencils, some ink splatters, and all fun little pieces. And I documented where we went last year to cut our tree down. So I hope that you enjoyed this flip through. It was a great opportunity for me to kind of jump into sharing things and videoing, and hopefully I'll get started on some process videos in the future. Have a great day. Thank you.